So what is good, y'all? It is Anime K here, and we are back with a video, and today we're going to be talking about which time skip is better. Now this is a thing that is heavily debated right now, is which time skip is better. Now obviously it is kind of early to talk about which time skip is better, but I'm just going to go off the first 4 chapters of Boruto and the first 4 chapters of Naruto Shippuden and just kind of gauge which chapter is better right now. Now, I might do an updated video on this at a later date, obviously because there will be more content from Boruto coming out, and you can't exactly judge it right now just based off 4 chapters, but I think it's a pretty interesting discussion to see which chapter is better right now. So I'm going to be comparing both chapters. So I'm going to be doing chapter 1 and chapter 2 because, wow, there's a lot of content from this chapter, and it'll probably be a long video. I was planning on doing 4, but it'll be a long video if I do 4, right? So I'm going to do 2 now, and if you guys do enjoy this video and want a part 2, I will provide that for you. But first, we're going to get into chapter 1 of Naruto. Had to remember there. So in chapter 1 of Naruto Shippuden, I know it's not actually chapter 1, it's still part of the Naruto manga. I think it's chapter 400 and something. I'll put that on the screen, but I'm gonna just call it chapter 1 of Naruto Shippuden just so you guys know and it's easy to follow. So basically in chapter 1 of Naruto Shippuden, Naruto comes to the village and we see he's all grown up, right? He looks older, he looks taller, right? He's got some new clothes on, and then we see him meet Kakashi. Now what was weird for me about this is the manga, right? This is my first time actually reading the manga because I just watched the anime, and there's a lot of stuff that's cut out from these chapters that is in the anime but it's not in the manga, so it's kind of weird for me to see. But anyway, just thought I'd point that out for you guys. But in the first chapter we see him meet Kakashi, and when he first meets Kakashi, Kakashi says, "Oh Naruto, you've grown up," and they meet each other, and it's a great moment, him seeing Kakashi again for the first time in 2 years. And he gives Kakashi one of Jiraiya's books, one of his Makeout series books, and Kakashi is obviously happy because that's the book we always see him reading. And then he sees Sakura, and Sakura again knows that he looks all grown up and kind of starts to fall in love with, not fall in love with him, but kind of like him for like 2 panels. And 2, Konohamaru shows up and shows Naruto his sexy jutsu, which we think, is Naruto serious now? Because he goes, "Konohamaru, I can't do that anymore, I'm all grown up now." But then proceeds to joke and says, "Your sexy jutsu is boring," and then shows him his sexy jutsu, to which Sakura punches Naruto. And this kind of proves Naruto's point when he says that, "Sakura, you haven't really changed at all," right? Kind of proves Naruto's point because she's still that angry girl, right? Very angry woman, you know, kind of like a, you know, kind of like a clone of Tsunade. But I digress. And then we move on to the forest where Kakashi and Team 7 are about to do the bell test. Kakashi goes, "Oh, do you guys remember this spot? This is where we did it last time." But obviously Sasuke's not here, to which Naruto and Sakura get visibly upset, to which Kakashi quickly closes his book, changes the subject, and then says, "Let's begin." So now when we go to chapter 1 of Boruto, we see Sarada in Shikamaru. It's now Shikamaru's office, is which we find out Shikamaru is now the 8th Hokage. So that's the first bit of big information that we find out, right? And Shikamaru is the 8th Hokage, and Sarada is in his office talking to him, trying to convince him, look, Boruto was innocent, Boruto didn't do anything wrong. But Shikamaru, we see the brainwashing has already took effect, right? And Shikamaru, he's not having none of it. He's like, "Sarada, stop," right? Boruto's a criminal, he killed the 7th Hokage, right? Tried to kill Kawaki, who's, well, Naruto's son. The brainwashing basically convinced him that Kawaki is Naruto's actual son, and we see Sarada still trying to plead with Shikamaru. And then we get that moment where she goes, "My inspiration is Lord 7th, not you." Now when Sarada is talking to Sumire, right, and this is the next bit of information we get, she admits that she was a bit hard on Shikamaru, but she gives us some piece of information about the brainwashing, saying at first that people were unsure about Kawaki, showing that the brainwashing hadn't fully set in, saying that Shikamaru was interrogating Kawaki, saying, "Why were you modified by Korra, and where is Momoshiki?" But as she goes on to explain, the brainwashing set in more and people's uneasiness stopped, and the brainwashing had fully set in. So already we've learned that Shikamaru is the 8th Hokage and that the brainwashing took effect onto people that were brainwashed. Also, we think it's brainwashed everyone. So now we move on to Sarada and Sumire when they go to talk to Ada, and Ada is still kind of questioning them on how, 1, that her brainwashing didn't work on them, and 2, if her charm is working on them. Now her charm is basically an ability to make everyone fall in love with her, and it's kind of like the ultimate defense, you could call it, because they fall that much in love with her they can never actually hurt her. So it's like anyone that comes in contact with her can basically never hurt her. So that's why she is suspicious of Sarada and Sumire, because Sarada and Sumire were not affected by Ada's omniscience, but they weren't affected by Ada's ability, right? I'll just say Ada's ability for now because I'm not going to be embarrassing myself and I say that throughout the whole video. But basically, they're not affected by Ada's ability. So she's questioned them because everyone that isn't affected by Ada's ability can essentially kill her, right? Or have a chance of killing her, because if they're not affected by her mind-changing ability, they're most likely not affected by her charming. But Sarada and Sumire talk her down and assure her that they are affected by her charm and that they're in love with her. So already, right, in this chapter we found out Shikamaru is the 8th Hokage, right? Just try pronouncing it again. The mind warping ability is fully set in now. And 3, that Sarada and Sumire now have to watch out for Ada, because if Ada finds out that they in fact are not affected by her charm, she'll probably send Daemon to kill them, which we see Daemon, his abilities are just, we don't even need to get into them, they're just out of this world, right? So they probably would die, right? I don't think Sarada or Sumire could have anything to defend against his abilities. Also in this chapter we find out that Himimari is sort of not affected but is affected by Ada's charm, because she makes an interesting comment when she says that she's not angry at Boruto and she wants to speak to Boruto. Now I think she still believes that Kawaki is her actual brother, but there's a little part of her that's unsure about the memories and a bit unsure. So obviously everyone was thinking that Himimari would play a big part in this chapter, you know, getting the Tenseigan, getting a big upgrade. So this kind of fueled more of them rumors and kind of showed us that Kishimoto, he's always hinting that Himimari may play a big part later down in the series. And last but not least, we get Boruto's entrance where he comes in and steps on Code's face, right? And this entrance for me, when I compare this to Naruto's entrance to the village, I think this, not only this, but this is like the thing that really solidified it for me, that Boruto's chapter 1 was better than Naruto, right? Because the way he enters, right, jumps on Code's face and he says this. Now let me just get the quote that I wrote down in my phone. It's that kind of sick thinking that creeps girls out, giving him a serious look while he's stamping on his face. And then after this, Konoha and everyone is alerted that Boruto is back into the village, because obviously his chakra would have been registered with the Leaf Village. Now guys, while recording this, I realized that the Boruto chapters and the Naruto chapters, right? The Naruto chapter 1 of Shippuden, it only has 20 chapters, whereas the chapter 1 of Boruto has 40. So I'm going to go into the second chapter of Naruto Shippuden just to make it fair, just to even out the chapters. So we're going to get straight into the bell test. So with the bell test, right, they start the bell test, right, and Naruto charges at Kakashi using his shadow clones, and we see he's more efficient with his shadow clones, right? He is better, and he even catches Kakashi off guard, but Kakashi then goes, "You're still impatient, Naruto. I didn't even say go yet," to which obviously Naruto gets rid of his clones and they do start. But what we see from that first attack is Naruto is better with his shadow clones, and he even uses this big shuriken thing that we really never see him get to use after this. But still, we see Naruto has improved with his clones. Now from this moment, I'd wish that he'd improved more and that they kind of show more of Naruto, but you'll see why I think the Boruto chapter, even with this added chapter that I'm talking about now, I still think the first chapter of Boruto is better. Now we see the fight go on, right, and Kakashi disappears, and then when he disappears, Sakura analyzes where he could be and analyzes that he's underground. So she punches the ground, splitting the ground, showing her new monstrous strength that she's acquired from training with Tsunade. And the fight goes on, and you know, they go back and forth, and then Naruto and Sakura make a plan to get the bells of Kakashi, to which Naruto acts like he's going to spoil the ending of the book, Dry's book, the Makeout series that Kakashi is always reading. He acts like he's going to spoil it, to which Kakashi covers his ears and closes his eyes, because the Sharingan, like he states, can read lips, so he doesn't want to see what Naruto's going to say. And then Sakura and Naruto grab the bells, you know, laughing at him, saying, "We tricked you, sensei," whatever, right? Which, it was a funny moment, but it felt like the first two chapters were more comical, and while I like the comical aspect, I really wanted to see Naruto and Sakura actually get the belt off Kakashi. I think it would have made for a better moment. But still, for me personally, Sakura had the biggest improvement out of the two, because Naruto was already pretty good, right? Well, really good. And Sakura was trash, right, before the time skip. So really, Sakura, when I say Sakura had a better improvement than Naruto, I'm not saying that she was stronger than Naruto, I'm just saying she had a better improvement. But for me, even reading both these chapters, I have to give it to Boruto, because I think the first chapter, I think Boruto had so much new information that we was all excited about, And then just the entrance of Boruto into the chapter as well, stepping on Code's face, was just disrespectful. And that manga panel was shared everywhere when it came out. Now, you could say that because I didn't read Naruto when it first came out, maybe there's a bit of recency bias there, which I will admit, you could say that. But for me personally, watching that, because I watched the anime, just read the manga now, right? And for me personally, I think chapter 1 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex is better. But don't worry, Naruto fans, because we're going to move into chapter 2 of Boruto and Naruto to see which one is better. So in this chapter, I will see Boruto, his demeanor has changed. He looks more like Sasuke and he's acting more like Sasuke. He straight up tells Code, look, withdraw your claw grimes right now or I'm going to kill you. To which Code responds saying, Boruto, I'm not scared of your bluffs. You tried bluffing me 2 years ago and nothing really happened there. So if you've read the rest of the Boruto chapters, I won't spoil it for you if you haven't, but you'll know why Code probably said this, because certain person's in a situation right now, but I won't reveal anything about that if you haven't read the chapters, but I digress. Now the fight continues and Boruto, he basically gets rid of Code's claw grimes pretty easy right with his sword, which Code acknowledges and said maybe it wasn't a bluff, maybe you are strong, right? But he still is confident, and Boruto again emphasizes that get rid of your claw grimes, because if you don't, it could spell the worst possible outcome for everyone. So this was interesting to me, because when I first seen this, it's showing that Boruto knows something about the claw grimes that no one else knows, and we find out later that he was in fact correct about this. But Code's still being cocky, he doesn't listen to Boruto, right? Before we get into the rest of this fight, we switch to Team 10, and Team 10 are fighting off more claw grimes, right? Shikadai, I forgot the other two, Inujin and the black girl, what's her name? Choji's daughter, right? They are fighting, right? And Himamari's there as well, and they're all fighting against the claw grimes, right? And Himamari nearly gets attacked by the claw grimes, and Kawaki saves her, to which she says, thanks big bro, and he goes, don't call me that. Now what I took from this is maybe he either feels guilt, the fact that, well, he is trying to kill her actual brother, and two, the fact that he did steal her parents away. So I guess he's feeling a little bit of guilt about that, right? So, and it's understandable. But that happens. Then we switch back to the Boruto and Code fight, where Code, he's still being cocky and he's not listening to Boruto, to which Boruto starts to load up his jutsu and goes, there's no cure for idiocy. Just decides that he's gonna have to attack Code to find out where the Ten Tails is, so he can stop whatever worst possible future for everyone that he was talking about. But now we're going to move on to Naruto part 2, well, chapter 2. Yeah. Now, moving back to Naruto, we see him at the start of this chapter fail to take Sakura on a date. And after this, he runs into Shikamaru and Temari, which, they say hello. Temari's surprised at how tall Naruto's gotten as well. And Shikamaru greets Naruto, and Naruto goes into Shikamaru and goes, are you two on a date? Which he goes, no, and tells him he just has to walk with Temari and escort her for the Chunin exams. To which the conversation goes to, so what are you going to do about the Chunin exams? And Naruto's like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, everyone in the Leaf Village is at least a Chunin, which Naruto is shocked that he's the only one that is still a Genin, and he even turns to Sakura and asks her, Sakura, you're even a Chunin as well? To which she replies, yes, smiling at him. And some more information we learn is Shikamaru says that Neji, Temari, and Kankuro are all Jonin now. So Naruto has a lot of catching up to do, but the biggest piece of information we get from this chapter is that Gaara is the Kazekage, right? Which, wow, was incredible for me, and I like this because Gaara, he was one of my favorite characters from Naruto, and his leap from was Gaara probably a Genin all the way to Kazekage? I mean, did it kind of show how weak the Saiyan was, the fact that someone was able to become the Kazekage that quickly? I don't know, right? I don't know. I don't want to pry into that too much, but it was great that Gaara had become the Kazekage. Now, the next thing we see is Jiraiya talking to Kakashi, and he's talking to Kakashi about the Akatsuki, and basically that the Akatsuki, they've been a bit silent and they've not really been making too many moves, and they've been on the down low recently. And then we flip to a manga panel of two Akatsuki members walking in the sand to the Sand Village, and we know these Akatsuki members are Deidara and, oh my god, I forgot his name. Oh my god, guys, I literally forgot Sasori's name for a second there, but Sasori of the Red Sand, and they were walking to the Sand Village to go abduct the Kazekage, because Gaara at that time was the Jinchuriki of the One Tails. And then we see a Sen Shinobi come out and he sees just a pile of dead bodies, a pile of dead San Jonin, and he looks shocked. And then we switch to Naruto talking to Iruka Sensei, and Iruka Sensei is like, don't worry Naruto, you'll be able to catch up to everyone. And Naruto's looking sad that he's behind. And then we switch back and we see Deidara attacking the Sand Village, and he's kind of scouting out the Sand Village, trying to see, you know, what the situation is, where everyone is, because at this point they know that 2 people are attacking the Sand Village. And then he throws some bombs down at everyone, blowing stuff up. You know, Deidara's ability, you know, he loves his art, starts blowing stuff up. But then Gaara pops up right out of nowhere, gets rid of those bombs, protects people, and Deidara is shocked about how quickly he gets up there. The chapter ends with Deidara trying to throw more bombs at Gaara, and Gaara coats himself like his sand shield, where, you know, where he basically creates a big egg, you know, like what he does against Sasuke, where he coats himself in sand. He does that, right? And then he coats Deidara in his sand golem, right? You know, the same one that he does to Rock Lee, and he is about to crush him. And that's where the chapter ends. Now, for me, after reviewing these 2 chapters, for me, it was a hard decision because Boruto's second chapter was still really good. But for me, it wasn't one of my favorite chapters. It was still a good chapter, but it was pretty slow for me. So for this one, I will give it to Naruto Shippuden, right? I will say Naruto Shippuden's chapter 2 was better, especially because the Gaara and the Deidara fight was one of my favorite fights, right? But look, you guys, let me know what you think about both chapters right after me reviewing them. If you guys do like this, I will review chapter 3 and 4 of Boruto and Naruto Shippuden just to compare them to see which ones are better. Obviously, if you guys do want me to make another video like this, it'll have to be before the next Boruto chapter comes out, so you guys let me know quickly. I can't even do my outro because right now I'm tired. Guys, I am tired. But look, guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Thank you for watching, listening, or however you choose to indulge in my content, and peace. I'm out. Let me know your thoughts on all the points I made in this video, and I'm out.